get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show.
Hi everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of What If. It's been a little while, but I am at, if you can hear any of that background noise, it's because I'm at the AV Showcase hosted by Peerless at the amazing Lord's Cricket Ground yet again, another year. Don't know where the years are going, but I am delighted to have with me one of my dearest industry friends, besties, brother from another mother. And it's special for another reason, but let me introduce to you Kevin. Kev, who are you? Who are you and where'd you come from?
It was Kevin that did it to me. It's like I'm being told off. I can't believe
It's Kev. You all know Kev.
Yeah, we're reigniting AV Jam.
Exactly. So for those of you who remember, this is so the What If, and a little if you haven't been following me for the last few years, where have you been? But it all started with AV Jam. So if you look at the YouTube channel and you look at the videos, go back and look at some of the old ones. I've watched them all, obviously. But AV Jam was the brainchild of Kev Talbot, Jason Ward, Noel Kennedy, with a lot of help from Amy Redfern as well.
All the help from...
So, as things happen and over time, everyone's kind of doing different things and whatever else. But anyway, they handed that platform, that baton over to me. So we... somewhere in the middle of the video playlist, you'll see, or in the library, you'll see that there's an episode where the AV Jam logo becomes the What If bull. So this is a bit of a trip down memory lane, but I have to say, there are so many podcasts out there now. There are so many things to listen to. AV Jam was the one that really got everybody started. It was ahead of its time in so many ways. It was fresh. It was unapologetically honest. I can't believe I've said that after a very late night or early morning, whichever way you want to look at it. But let's go back to those days, Kev. What was it that started it?
Oh, Christ. It was Jace being very easily persuaded and coerced. No, he'd gone to some event somewhere in London, and Chris was over. Mark Coxon was at home, if I remember correctly, and they did one of the few but really good episodes of AV Smackdown, and it was on the back of that that Chris gave Jace the idea. There was nobody really, from what I can gather, and someone will tell me.
Shout out to there are many Chris's in the industry. We're talking, of course, the one and only Christopher Netto.
They had the belief that there wasn't really anyone or many people in the UK doing podcasts in this way. Now, I could be wrong. There could have been loads out there, and we're just too ignorant to know. But
I don't think there were at that time. It was a new way of communicating.
Yeah, but there was nobody definitely that we knew that weren't sponsored, didn't have somebody to answer to, and could be honest, which we always wanted to be, but could be ourselves as well.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest push behind it was we all worked for the same company at the time. Yeah. But it wasn't the company podcast. It was us. We never set out to upset anybody. We never set out to badmouth anybody.
Although there are still some people still crying years on.
There probably is, but none of it we felt was malicious, but it was our honest opinion of what we felt at that time in the industry.
Do you know, if you go back on those old episodes, if you look at the people that were on there, Okay, first thing, look how young everybody looks.
I've
back
aged
and
quite a
watch
bit. I'm
them.
glad this is audio
This
and
is,
not video.
yes, this is audio. However, go back, watch it on YouTube, watch the videos back, and look at how fresh-faced everybody was. And I think one of the first ones that I did with you guys, my hair was so short. I was like, is that me?
That's all right. I went
It's-
through phases. It went really short, really long,
Yeah.
really short.
So there, you got the. I think, in my opinion, as somebody who was a listener before I got involved, obviously, and involved. God, I did get involved.
Get it
literally.
literally.
If you know, you know, and it was not. It was more than the honesty. It was a. Too many others were kind of almost overproduced, overpolished, almost scripted. You guys were never scripted.
Oh no, it was three idiots just having fun. More importantly, talking about what we felt was important to us at the time, how it impacted us, especially as integrators.
Yep.
But it was far from polished. It looked a hell of a lot better than it was, and that's all down to Amy. Amy made it look more polished than it was. I mean, there's a lot more outtakes than intakes.
The outtakes are quite funny.
And they're hilarious.
But some of the topics that you covered, and so you retained that where people genuinely wanted your opinion on their products. So the queue of people who wanted to be on the show, the queue of manufacturers who wanted to send you stuff to unbox. How did
And then
that?
never
how
sent
did
them
you?
back after we did it.
They're out of date now anyway. They're end of life, so yeah, it doesn't matter. But how did that? How did you decide which products you were going to put up against each other, or just have a play with? Was there a strategy?
There was no. You know the answer to that question. Strategy was out of the window. Jace was by far the biggest push of this. Jace was the one with a lot more of the ideas, especially. I don't have ideas. I know
Yes,
my
you do.
lane and I know where I'm staying. Jace was the one that would get it. But then there was a couple that we collectively thought was right. Barco with the ClickShare Conference CX, whatever it was called. When they first started doing kind of BYOD wirelessly, we got that. The funny bit with that, I don't know, that came from Barco. That weren't even one of us, that came from Barco. They sent it in a flight case.
Shout out to us.
Not to show anybody. We had to do the recording. We sent it to Barco's marketing, thinking they were going to go send it back and go, absolutely not, because of the way we were. Loved it for some crazy reason, and released it. And what they planned on doing, and again, someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm positive this is true, is they planned on doing the live release in New York, I think it was, and then as soon as that finished, they were going to allow us to drop our video. So they told us a time to go live. Somebody made the mistake and told us to go live an hour early. So we actually released it before they got on stage. Which was brilliant.
Dear.
And I believe there were some, and again, this is rumours, you know what this industry is.
That's a
like.
mic drop, isn't it?
I believe there was somebody within the industry that got very upset because they were sponsoring the event and we dropped first and kind of got first dibs. Now, we're small in comparison. It wouldn't have cracked the surface of impact on them. And like I said, it could be rumour, but this was the news that I got back was we kind of mistimed it. It went anyway. But
These things happen, especially when you're working across time zones.
that was one of the ones where we got it from manufacturers. We had other manufacturers send us kit and say, be honest, do it. And then a lot of the other stuff was just based on the work we were doing.
Yeah.
What we're doing, what we're installing, what end customers are coming back with, what our use cases are.
Which
was
gives
the
it
good, the bad-
relevance.
And it was the good, the bad and the ugly of that.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of things that were nice. I remember going to York Minster and they were doing the projection mapping show. That was phenomenal. That was, I think Chris actually sent me that, and we went and did that. Jace did one with, was it the exhibition, the Tutu Carmoon?
Yeah.
We had a couple of things sent our way that was in
Yeah.
the UK.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the others, as I said, was Jace went, sorry, we'll talk about it this week. Or Noel would say, let's talk about this one this week. And it was
Yeah.
literally off the cuff, unless it was sent in.
So, what will it take to get the band back together? What will it take?
I don't
If
think
you're
it's-
listening to this, I'm going to put something out on LinkedIn or somewhere, and if you don't comment, if you were ever on AV Jam or What If, I urge you, I'm going to tag the hell out of this recording.
Do it. I think I know the answer you're going to
I think, even if it's for one day only, let's get the band together.
Do you know what?
We have the technology.
Yeah, we did. The weird bit is it must have been 6 months ago. And it's a whole other story about shit I've just avoided and not done. But I went back and looked at some of the videos.
Oh, I love them.
And there was a little bit of me, because if you remember on the last one,
Yeah.
before we handed all the reins over to you, I said, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm not doing another.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Yeah.
That's how long it took me to sit
Yeah,
here
yeah,
with you.
yep.
I said, I'm out. I don't want to
Yeah.
know anymore. Getting into it too much. But shit changed.
Yeah.
And I'm far from the same, as it were, as I was. But there was a little bit of nostalgia that kind of kicked in. I thought
Yeah.
it would be funny,
It would be funny.
just for one. for
We
us
always
to
said
do
we
it.
would do a Christmas special, and we never did that either.
That's still always my favourite bit, is the absolute front that we've got to go after 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Sunday, we're having a
Oh,
Christmas
Christmas
special
special.
because we're that important. Let's do it.
It's like we've got a greatest hits album.
Right, yeah. After 2.
But I think, and also the people who think that any of us take ourselves seriously. I know sometimes I've talked about some very personal topics, and on the diversity, equity, and inclusion side, and we've had some off-air conversations about all of that.
That you wish you pressed record.
That I wish I pressed record. Yeah, they're always the best conversations. But what I would say is, to anyone listening, if you know us at all, you know we just don't take ourselves that seriously. When we are about, we're all about community. We're all about a bit of honesty, a bit of fun. There are some serious bits that come along the way, and it's just about building that. It's a community.
It is, and I think that's one of the other reasons maybe that we stopped. Obviously, Noel had left. And for me, it was never the same. And I think for Jace, it was the same. It was
The
always,
logo had to change as
it
well.
was always the 3 of us, and
Yeah.
the way that it was, and it was not intentional.
No.
It just happened. Jace, for everybody that knows Jace, is the maddest, lovable bloke you'll ever meet, but is at the same time batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And sometimes figures
Yes.
things you. But he'd be great at the topics. He'd be great at keeping the conversation flowing. I was just loud and angry and stupid. And then Noel was so quiet and so reserved. And then he'd just drop a bomb. And then you'd end up recording for 25 minutes and go, we didn't need any of the last 20 minutes. Noel could have just said that one sentence and that was enough. And that dynamic shift changed. And then it was a case of, how do we carry on the way that we are? How do we get people to continue to do it? Do we have to get more serious? Do we have to change? And I don't think we wanted to.
No.
And I think that was one of the reasons that we had to stop. And then other things for me, I'd given up. I'd fallen out of love, not with what we were doing, but with, in a weird way, the industry.
Yeah.
And I'd
And I
give-
think we all go through those cycles.
And
of-
I'd
yeah,
kind of
I get
walked
that.
of everything, and I've done the same for years. I mean, saying to you yesterday, I think this is the first time I've done this. I've been ISE once in 6 years. I've probably done 4 trade shows in 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with it. I love my job. I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want the rest at the minute, and that's why it was right for me to step away for other reasons. But then, like I said, I go back and watch them, or I listen to a few things, because I still see things on social media every blue moon when I open it up, like
Yeah.
once every 3 months. And I see the odd few, and it brings back memories. I think it would be fun.
Yeah.
And like you
Right.
said, that
There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm
there's no
latching
way.
onto that. Noel Kennedy, Jason Ward, Amy Redfern. We want the band back together. I'm dropping it. This is a world exclusive. AV Tweeps, AV Brits, get on the bandwagon. Let's get these guys back together because it was the freshest podcast. It was unscripted. It was honest. It was ahead of its time, as I've already said. And even if it's for one episode, let's do it. Let's get the gang together. Let's make it happen.
You have no idea what we talk about. It'd be another one of them episodes that we'll post and go, we shouldn't have even recorded it.
And they're the best
just
ones.
Been carnage, absolute carnage.
So if you want to start commenting, comment below, comment on the LinkedIn, comment wherever you like, call me. You know where I am. Find me. I am gonna make it my mission.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I